If there's one person who's watching right now and they feel like, I'm not big enough, I'm a small business owner, but I want to do it, not today, not tomorrow, but I want to go jump in on YouTube. So what can you tell them? What do they need to prepare? What's the first thing that they need to do before they jump in and be on YouTube on their first episode?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think it's actually really important. And what I would say to anybody who's thinking about starting a channel, especially if you're a small business, is I see and hear a lot of people say, that's just too expensive, can't afford to hire a crew, or maybe they're like, the technology is too complicated. Both of those things nowadays are myths. And so honestly, I think if you're a small entrepreneur, you can't afford not to do video marketing in this day and age. And that's going to save your business, I think, in the next 10, 15 years. Video is going to be huge, right? And if you aren't on video, it's going to be kind of like you don't exist. Just like if you're not on the internet now and you don't have a website, you don't exist, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, the barrier to entry is so much lower now. There's lots of room for amateurs and kind of this authentic reality kind of based way of looking at the world is kind of in right now. So
Mhm.
the whole idea that everything you do has to be all polished and, all of that, right? It has to be scripted by a professional, all that kind of stuff, is not as important as it maybe was 10 years ago. And the technology too. There's amazing technology out there now that's really easy to learn.
Mhm.
So, if you're a small entrepreneur right now and you're thinking, overwhelming, can't do it, that would be the first thing that I would say is that both of those issues are off the table at this point, in the world.
Yes.
But I do think that if you're a small business owner, I'm a solo business owner, right? I'm doing everything. Then you do have to be really intentional about your planning process. And I get really intentional about my process. If you just think to yourself, oh, I'm going to try to do some video marketing. If I have time, I'll, maybe dig out my camera, do a few things. That's going to fail.
Mm.
It's doomed to fail. Because you know how this goes. You're a small business owner, the phone rings, somebody needs something, and all of a sudden your day is over and you haven't done half the things that you
Yes.
thought you were going to do today, right? The days will just get away from you unless you really protect your time. And so I think that if you're going to go in and do video marketing, that you really need to commit to it.
Yes.
You need to say, yes, I need this, and I'm going to make a commitment that I'm going to make it happen, whether that's one video a month, whether it's I'm just starting out doing some little short things on Instagram, whatever your deal is, that you make a commitment that you're going to be consistent with it. And then the second thing that I would say is that you also want to think about the fact that your return on investment for video marketing has a really long tail on it. So if somebody is thinking, oh, I'm going to just put a couple videos out on YouTube and boom, my business is going to explode overnight. That's also not true.
Mhm.
It's a long tail curve, right?
Yes.
And so you need to think about the cost and the time, that you're starting with, right? You have to, but in the short term, that's going to hurt. But in the long
Yes.
term, 3 years from now, or whenever, and the views come in and you're building your expertise online and your authority, that's going to really help you out.